Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 76 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, how are you doing tonight?
A little caught off guard by the no intro music, but good.
That one's on me. That one's on me.
You're like 75% on intro music.
I know it's bad.
It's actually probably closer to like 85, but
it's closer to 95%. It's just that like sometimes I botch the actual intro.
It's totally like it's not something that you're like, you could mess up and it just goes unnoticed. So, yeah, there you go.
Tyler,
take
welcome to Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers for the first time. We'll have two first-time guests tonight, Tyler Frick and then Isaiah Walker, and then we'll be joined by Grant Salzman. Tyler, you were at Michigan's Nebraska tonight. What a game!
I know. I'm honored to be on the pod. Thank you guys. And Sam texted me this morning. I'm like, absolutely, I'll do it. And we kind of got an A+ game to discuss. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Jonathan, where do you want to start with this one? Michigan pulls it out 75-72. They only scored 27 points in the second half. Nebraska only scored 22 points in the second half. After a 50-48 first half, Nebraska played without Braden Frager and Rank Moss, two of their best players. Michigan needed everything it got. I thought Elliot Cadeau did not play particularly well. I thought Yaxel Lindenberg missed a whole bunch of shots that he usually makes. But Michigan got the job done at the end of the day. They kind of willed their way to win this game defensively down the stretch, got key stops against a Nebraska team that really couldn't miss for the first 20 minutes of this game.
Yeah, I thought Michigan down the stretch, finally realized that they could use their physicality to exploit a team that was shorthanded tonight, and that ultimately won them the game. Nebraska certainly got, a non-favorable whistle, that especially towards the end of the game. But Michigan's got the home crowd. Like they certainly, were making better decisions with shots towards the end of the game, and I think that was part of it. Like on the other hand, credit to Nebraska for pushing Michigan the way they did without two key players. I mean, they were basically down to 5.5 playable players.
Yeah, I mean, I sent you this. I sent you this today, and I said I actually came away more impressed with Nebraska than the Rosillo meme.
Going with the Rosillo line, I love it. But
yeah, I mean, 39 minutes from Price Sanford, 36 from Burke Bjorktenshell, 35 from Jamarcus Lawrence, 39 from Sam Hoiberg, and 28 out of Cale Jacobson, who has been in the rotation throughout the year, but was not at all playing last year. Is not a name that you're going to be extremely familiar with. And obviously Frager and Mast have just been so important for what they do. Mast, in terms of their 5-out offense, and they still, I felt like moved the ball at a really high level today. 16 assists, only 11 turnovers. They really did a good job in terms of keeping Michigan from getting in transition for the most part in this game. Because that's where Michigan would have the advantage, is when they're not playing in a half-court game against a Nebraska team that just is not even close to as athletic as them. And, Sanford took a ton of shots, but I felt that for the most part, Nebraska got good looks and had chances to win this game. Jamarcus Lawrence missed an absolutely butt-naked, wide-open three in the final minute of this game. This unfortunate miss for him. He had a scorching first half. They had to just give him the ball wherever because he was on fire. Michigan just kind of out-physicaled them defensively at the end, and I thought Morez Johnson came to play a full 40.
Yeah, I think for Nebraska, I agree. I thought they got the shots they wanted. And what was interesting, like, I don't know if you guys felt this way, but the people I was talking to after the game, we kind of all agreed Nebraska's shot quality actually was much better in the second half when they scored 22 points and just went ice cold after the first half. They were taking tougher shots, in my opinion, making everything. Yeah, I don't know. Nebraska's like, I was kind of watching the game in awe because they're so unique. Like, I've never seen a team that's that like good without being like nobody on their team is like quick. They're not that athletic and they're not really physically imposing, and they're just really good. Like,
Yeah, I think, and Jonathan and I were talking about this. Michael DeRosa mentioned it as well. They are the best. They are the best ball movement team in the country.
and even like the snake dribble stuff they would do, everything, they would never panic. Some of the passes, especially from the bigs too, like these are tight window passes and they're just perfect.
They
Like,
are elite. They are elite at not like the traditional skip pass, but the perimeter to perimeter skip pass.
yeah.
It felt like to me, not just tonight but throughout the season, that like Sam Hoiberg is really, he's not the best player on this team, but
He's the most important.
The key to making things happen for them, because he's just so good at keeping his dribble alive, and it doesn't feel like there's a single thing that they do that is wasted.
You will never believe who Sam Hoiberg's second comparable on KenPom is.
His second who's this first? Tell me that first.
David Stockton, 2014, from Gonzaga.
His second comparable has got to be like, I don't know. Tell me.
2025 Jaquan Carlos. How is that possible? His turnover rate is 13 points lower than Carlos, and his offensive rating is literally 36 points higher.
I mean,
what is going on here?
That just kind of shows you how like rare it is to get a player like this, like 6'0", having a really efficient shooting year despite a somewhat low volume, is active defensively, makes your life hell when he's guarding you, and just always makes the right play.
Yeah, he's been the most important player for them all year. I mean, Rink Moss is their best player. Braden Frager's awesome. Burke Biupton-Shell's been incredible. Price Sanford's their best scorer. Jamarcus Lawrence has been a really good two-way player. Like they have a lot of guys that have been a big part of this. Sam Hoiberg is the ignition. He is the gas. He is their most important piece. And I mean, he had a good game tonight. It was just that Michigan just kind of usurped them by the end. Like that game, it just kind of felt like Michigan had a little bit too much in the tank. Nebraska was obviously shorthanded, down a couple guys, a little weaker towards the end of the game. Couldn't put the shots in. They, as Tyler mentioned, they got the shots that they wanted down the stretch of this game. And Michigan, I think, kind of physically wore down on Nebraska, and Nebraska doesn't have the bodies or the physicality to match up with that for 40 minutes. But Trey McKinney came up with some big plays late in this game. Thought that was really important. Adaimara had a big offense.
He's on my list. Trey is on my list of notes. I'm just like so impressed with him. Like he's so much more complete than I thought coming into the year. Like he dribbles, he passes, he cuts, and he shoots it really well. He's confident. I don't know, and he's not scared. Like that kind of showed up for me. And Dusty trusted him down the stretch. He played him a ton in the second half.
Yeah, Jonathan loved McKinney coming out.
Good player. I also think I want to hit this because I do think it's like a key storyline. I'm not, panicking or anything like that by any means. I'm not even slightly worried, but like Michigan's now won 5 in a row since the Wisconsin loss. The very weird loss. Like a game that if you play it 10 times over, Michigan might win 10 times.
If you play that game 100 times, Michigan wins 101 of them.
However, they've now won 5 in a row since that, and I haven't been like, particularly impressed in any of them. And like part of
I
that
think
is
the Indiana game, they kind of came out and smacked them from the start.
that's true. But at the same time, like I think part of it is just, teams have seen a lot of film on you now. Like
Yep.
Dusty was in
I
the
mean,
conference
it's the
last year.
Big
Like
Ten. It's the Big Ten. There's good teams night in and night out. You're
Yeah.
not, and like you're not. And I think I said this on our post Players Era show that Michigan played their best basketball of the season at Players Era, and that's like fine. Like you can win a national championship playing worse than Michigan did at Players Era. I don't like, and I think you can win a national championship. And I like Michigan is still firmly in the national championship tier. Obviously, they're the number 2 team in the country at Torbit at Ken Pom. They're 19-1. They're a plus 35 rating. So yeah, not worried, but like there is a team that has one loss that I do think is kind of playing like shit right now.
Yeah,
we'll get into that in a little bit.
I do think that like teams have been more successful slowing them down a little bit recently. Like their tempo has dropped since non-con, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think it's just Michigan's taking time right now to adjust to not playing, the fastest games in the world, and as a result, like they're not taking the most quality shots just because they're used to getting so many of them.
I think Jonathan's a little bit right about the film part of it. Like I would say, especially the double big stuff with Merez and Mara out there together, that was just like an off the charts net rating, especially in the Players Era, and that was kind of when Dusty first turned it up, like the usage of that lineup, and it's definitely tailed off a little bit. They're a little less switchable. I don't know. They're finding ways to beat it a little bit, I would say.
Also, just like natural shooting regression stuff too.
Yes,
like
that was always
teams have hit more threes against
like
them. That was always
the other thing about Michigan is like the shooting regression, the 3-point shooting regression doesn't necessarily matter because they are at St. Louis levels of 2-point percentage difference.
Yeah.
St. Louis is number 1 in the country in effective field goal offense and defense. Michigan is number 2 in both of those.
Like I think
never mind. Hold on. Michigan's number 7 now in effective field goal offense, and St. Louis is number 2. I'm way off, guys. I'm off my game tonight. That's on me.
Like the broadcast team, which I realized that Nick Stauskas like halfway through this game was calling the game, and I didn't know who the play-by-play guys but they were talking about how
this was such like a mediocre crew for a game of this caliber.
They were talking about how Michigan like 30% against from 3 is like number one in the conference, but like in conference play they're really 11th in the conference in opponent 3-point field goal percentage. So like it just like what they were saying didn't tell the whole story, and it was just very weird to me because of that.
I think broadcasters, and they've been doing this for so long, they use points scored and allowed per game. They use turnover stats per game. They use season-long numbers instead of conference play numbers. And I just don't get it. Like they are actively diminishing the quality of their analysis, knowingly as well for the most part. You think that Nick Stauskas doesn't know what offensive rating is?
Yeah, I mean
he does.
He does. This is
the guy played in the NBA in the analytics era. Yeah. Like he knows what offensive rating is. Ken Pom is $20 a year. Nick Stauskas, use it. It's $20 a year. All 3 of us have it,
and his employer could probably pay for it if he tells them he really needs it.
Yeah.
If you're a college basketball analyst and your employer isn't paying for your access to Ken Pom, like what are we doing?
I think a lot of these guys I think a lot of like the ESPN Plus guys are like stringers, but that's different. Well, Tyler, anything else to add before we go?
I have written down. It just says Yaxel with like 3 question marks. I don't know if you guys want to discuss
Yeah,
that.
that's kind of how I felt from
He was
Yasser.
It's like-
he was forcing a lot tonight.
Like he still imposes his will on the defensive side of the ball. He still imposes his presence.
It just seems like
Didn't
sometimes when
shoot the ball
he'll
well.
Yeah, it seems like sometimes when he'll just go to the basket, even though he doesn't have like an array of moves to get there, he just can get there because he's an NBA player. And he had one today. He had one against Ohio State where he just puts a shot up, it misses, and then he's just there on the second jump, and it's just a layup. Like he doesn't. It just feels like he's so passive, especially recently. I don't know.
Yeah, and he was never like that. Like there were never moments at UAB where you felt like he was like being passive whatsoever. And I don't necessarily think this is the worst thing in the world for Michigan.
It's
like right
it's
now.
not.
I think he has to go through this at the Big Ten level.
Yeah.
Because he's going to come out of
I
this
think
even
so.
stronger. But I will note he is down to 9th on the Ken Pom Player of the Year. He was 3rd for most of the year. It was Cam, Jefferson, and Yax was 3rd for most of it. He's been passed up, and I think that's more of like what guys like DeBonsta, Flemings, Fears have done recently. I'm surprised Keaton Wagler's not on the top 10. Shout out to the Ken Pom game MVP leaders, obviously Flemings and Boozer, but Nick Martinelli, Buka Corey, and Caleb Wilson. Yeah, I just also wanted to mention Michigan at Michigan State on Friday. Michigan State is winning this game. I don't know how. I don't know why. I just know that they are winning it. I just know that they are winning it.
Oh,
Friday on Big Fox.
The fact that that's not a Sunday CBS game, like somebody.
Well, it's Friday. It's a Friday Big Fox game.
The one in Ann Arbor is in March, and it's Sunday.
That's a Sunday Fox game.
That makes sense.
But like, here's the thing. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know what it's going to look like. I just know Michigan State's going to win, and I know it's going to be by like 7.
I think I agree. I think they're going to split. I feel like really confident in that.
And I've been saying this since Players Era. Like I literally said on the show after Players Era, Michigan could win every game by 70 until then. I'm picking them to lose at Breslin.
If you know that like Michigan is like back as a program when like we sit here and are like, yeah, like they're gonna split with Michigan State. Like no,
Definitely.
That was like a thing for a long time, I feel like, under Beeline.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tyler. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. All right, let's bring on Isaiah Walker. We've got Isaiah, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Hey,
Thanks for joining us.
Let's do this. Not the best night for your Boilermakers. 72-67 win for Indiana. Isaiah, is it possible to win a game on the road when the opposing team is introducing the reigning college football playoff champions to the crowd for the first time?
Yeah, that's pretty tough. I mean, you were going in, and the funny thing was they said they were going to do it pregame, and we were like, wait, what? No, you have to do that at halftime. Like, but I mean, I bet that building was absolutely just nuts for Signetti and everything that they've done in there. So you're already backs against the wall there, and then you just kind of spend 40 minutes running around the court doing a little bit of I don't really know what you were doing. So it's pretty tough showing.
Yeah, this was, I would say, obviously, aside from Iowa State, probably Purdue's worst performance of the year.
Yeah, I would agree. And the thing about the Iowa State,
I mean, even Iowa State, like they could have been up 15 at halftime in that game.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Iowa State game, though, is it was like first half, it was not really that concerning. It was just like, okay, these are two very good teams playing a pretty physical defensive game, and they're matching up really well, and that's fine. And then second half, it was just like they did not come out of the locker room. Iowa State went on I want to say it was like a 10-2 run to start that second half, and then Purdue just never really showed up for the rest of that half. This game was not like that, in that there was really only about a 5 to 6 minute stretch of this game where I felt like Purdue was really competing in that game at the same level as Indiana, and then Indiana just kind of took over to end that first half, and to start the second half, it was all Indiana. And there were like two stretches during the second half where Purdue made a little bit of a run, but I kind of made the comment on like, okay, I saw this against. I've seen this a couple times where against Illinois they went on a little run. It looked like they were going to pull away, and then they didn't. And against UCLA, they did the same thing. And it was the same thing here, right? They got a little closer, but they never got quite close enough. And by the time they got to the end of the game, where you actually did have a chance, you got it within 2 points, and then you give up the 3 to Enright, and it's like, you know what? That you can't even be mad about that because you put yourself in that position, right?
Yeah, I mean, I look at Indiana, and I think this is kind of a season saver for them. And like coming out of this, I didn't expect Indiana to kind of be this story. I kind of wanted to talk Purdue, but here we are, and the season saver for Indiana. This kind of their first notable win of any sorts. Now they go out with
first quad one win for them.
Yeah, and if they lost this game, they really, I mean, yeah, I know UCLA and USC on the road are going to be quad one, but they would have gone into February without like a truly notable win, and like you can't have that at Indiana. I know it's year one. I think it's going to be fine, but this is a season saver for the Hoosiers who are going to. Jonathan, where did we have them in our bracketology?
It was like first 4 out, I think. Like it's just tough to evaluate a team that doesn't have a notable win.
I don't think we had them.
We definitely added them in like.
Oh yeah, no, we had them first 4 out. We had them first 4 out. So yeah, this is the type of win that gets you from the first 4 out to the last 4 in.
Yeah, and I think if you're an Indiana fan too, like there's 2 really good things that you take away from this game. The first one is obviously, this is that resume win that you really need. And in a conference that is as good as the Big Ten is, right? All of these wins matter a lot, right? Like now, as long as you don't go and lose to like Penn State at home or something, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. And now maybe you can stack a couple wins, get yourself a little bit off that bubble and feeling better. But the other thing is, the one thing that I've seen a lot from Indiana fans about this team is it's like they just go out there half the time and look like they don't know what they're doing and they're not trying or whatever. Well, they sure looked like, it wasn't the cleanest basketball the entire time, but they sure looked like they wanted that game.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you saw the way their emotion that they were playing with, their reactions to hitting big shots, like when Dorn hit a big shot, when Wilkerson hit a big shot, they were out there having a really good time. And I think that goes a long way when you're a team that's kind of trying to find yourself, right? Just being able to play a little bit loose and enjoy the good moments, right? That can build. And like on the Purdue side of it, you can also see how it can spiral when you see a team like what was I watching in that second half that kept derailing potential chances for Purdue to make a run, right? Bad pass turnover, and then guys don't get back on defense, or they just let a guy go. Or what I've been seeing a lot from this Purdue team that really annoys me is they think that they didn't get a call or something, and they go and they're staring at the ref while the other team's running down the court. And it's little things like that where it's like your mindset just doesn't feel like it's in this game. And, again, Indiana's a bubble team right now. Now they're should be in the field, but still a bubble team, right? This is not really a team that if you're Purdue and you had the expectations that you had preseason, you shouldn't be losing this game because you didn't give the effort in. And I think that's probably what's going to bother Purdue the most down the line. Because like I said, this team is going to come out against a Nebraska or a Michigan or a Michigan State and get a win. And everybody's going to be like, wait, oh, that's right. They were supposed to be a good team. This isn't actually that surprising. But then it's going to really annoy you when you look back at the UCLA performance and the Indiana performance and say, what was that?
Yeah, Purdue, second straight year with a 3-game losing streak. Obviously, they lost 4 in a row in February last year. That included a loss at Assembly Hall. I don't think the situation is quite as bad as it was last year. I think this team has the pieces defensively. They've shown it defensively a lot more over the course of this season than they did over last season. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll beat Maryland and Oregon both quite handily. And then you get that stretch of Nebraska away, Iowa away, Michigan home, Indiana home, Michigan State home, and then Ohio State away. That stretch from right after the Super Bowl until March starts is just a gauntlet of a stretch for Purdue. And I'm sure that a lot of people had that circled. Probably didn't have it circled early in the season because the Nebraska game probably wasn't thought of to be what it is. But yeah, I think what we can look at for Purdue is just how will they respond? Will they show up with the energy that they need to kind of to jump out early on the road on Sunday against Maryland? Oh God, is that the CBS game? Oh, that's gross. Oh, that's gross. That's gross.
It's a great way to start.
I guess everybody will be watching Quinnipiac Fairfield instead.
Isaiah, do you think there's like a core issue here that has caused them to lose 3 in a row? And what's the problem that you want them to be able to fix the most? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I at first I thought it was just a mindset, right? Like I was like I'm going to be able to tell whether they're coming into this Indiana game with the right mindset based on like the first half, right? Are they going to be playing sharp? Maybe a little angry, right? And they weren't. They were lackadaisical. They were still not rebounding. But honestly, the thing I'm shocked about the most is through this losing streak, and not just this losing streak. Like I think people forget, like, yes, they've lost 3 in a row, but like they barely beat USC before that. They were in a real dogfight with Iowa that looked a lot like all these games where Iowa just kept hitting shots, and they were able to outshoot them. Before that, they were struggling with Penn State and Washington, right? This is not actually really new. In this entire stretch of play, it's not just that the defense has been a big problem. It's been a big problem the same exact way. They're doing these weird switches on the perimeter, and you keep getting like Oscar Clough on shooting guards, and like that's never going to work. And then they pass out, and there'll be a guy that's open from 3, and we keep hearing like, oh, well, our defensive game plan was to let them shoot. I'm like, okay, if you're going into the game like that, you want to deny post touches, that's your initial game plan, that's fine. But like eventually you need to recognize who the shooters are, right? Like by the time that Keaton Wagler has 35 points, maybe you should be covering him. Or by the time that Wilkerson can hit 3. So like, why are you, and it's just been the same exact defensive game plan, game after game after game. And I don't see any adjustments from the coaching staff. That's kind of concerning to me because I've never seen that from Painter and his coaching staff before. Like I've never seen them come into games where they're struggling with the same game plan over and over again. And then outside of that, I mean, I think the rest of the fix is really simple, right? This Purdue team is supposed to be led by 3 of the best seniors to play in recent memory for Purdue. One of them is showing up, and the other 2, quite frankly, are not. And look, Fletcher Lawyer and Trey Kaufman-Renn are too good of basketball players to play the rest of the season like this. I don't believe that they are going to keep playing the rest of the season like this. But the problem is this Purdue team can't afford a lot more of these games. Like you've seen the past 3 games. With the way they're playing, like these are not necessarily blowouts, right? Like if you had a normal Fletcher Lawyer performance in the past 3 games, they would have won these 3 games. So it's a balance, right? Those 2 guys, they really got to find, whatever's going on. It feels like it's more of a slump than normal for Fletcher. He's got to figure it out, man. And TKR, I don't know. Whether it's also a slump or what's going on with him, but his body language hasn't been great. I think he was better against Illinois and better tonight overall, but it's just not what Purdue needs from those 2 guys. And like I said, it sucks to say it because I love those guys. Like I have had so much fun rooting for those guys. for the past 4 years. But this Purdue team can't win with them playing at this level.
Fletcher looks like he's lost a little bit of confidence.
I agree.
There were just some times tonight where, he didn't shoot the ball where I said to myself, yeah, I've seen him shoot that shot before. Yeah,
and it starts with, early in the game, he hit a couple shots, and I thought, okay, well, he historically plays pretty well in Assembly Hall. Maybe that's what's going on. But then he gets, Braden makes a great pass to him. He's wide open for three, bricks it. Another wide open three, bricks it. But again, the problem with Fletcher Lawyer is he is a great player, a critical player for Purdue when he is on and hitting those shots. But if he's having, like he did against Illinois, a 2 for 10 shooting, what are you putting out there? Because he's not elite defensively. Mm-hmm. And then second half, this game, he looked really frustrated. I think I want to say it was maybe 6 or 5 minutes left in the game, and Purdue was starting to cut into that lead again. And you had a Fletcher Lawyer play, and he just basically ran at some guy in the post and threw the ball away. It wasn't even really a shot. He just ran into a guy and lost the ball. And it was just I don't know what that was. That wasn't a drive, but it also wasn't being honest, how good Fletcher Lawyer often is at baiting fouls. It wasn't that either. I'm just not sure what it was. I think a lot of this is mindset. Maybe these next 2 games, if you can go on the road and you take care of Maryland like you expect to, but nothing's given right now. And maybe you come home and you take care of Oregon like you would expect to take care of. Maybe the mindset gets a little bit better and you can go on the road thinking, okay, we found something a little bit. I don't know. But it's on the team. It's on the coaches right now at this point. Nobody's going to come and save you. You are what you are. And we know that you have talent, right? It's not like we are looking at a team that was supposed to be a dark horse and they just didn't turn out right. We know this team has talent.
Yeah.
But you got to find it.
Yeah. Isaiah, thank you so much for coming on Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for the closer. Grant Salzman is joining Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers. Welcome back to Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers. The last time we were on the show, we talked about T.O. Barrett.
Yeah, we did.
Are we going to talk about T.O. Barrett tonight?
I'd prefer not to talk about Mizzou basketball, but we can.
We're gonna lead off though.
We can start
blue.
with
Sorry, white.
Blue.
SLU.
Oh, when the Saints come, Robbie Avila hit the game-winning 3. I was looking for goggles in my house. I don't have any sports goggles, but I have pink goggles. Robbie for 3. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's an all-timer. I need a weeps on 3 graphic right now.
Grant, I want to start with this. With you.
1 second. Sorry, I know it's your show, but I had to walk in a foot of snow to get these outside. I wasn't wearing proper shoes, so you're welcome. It was very cold. It was very snowy. My feet are wet. I don't have socks on now. Just my socks got wet. But I do it for the love of the game. Josh Shirts has changed my life. He can change yours too.
Grant Salzman going to be the first ever person to get hypothermia on Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers.
My feet are really cold. They're really cold.
I think.
By
the way, do not do this at home. Do not be Grant Salzman at home.
No.
Very much not recommended.
First Barstool, now this. Dangerous stuff. Sorry,
just
Liddy.
Not the person you want to mold your life
after. Grant, I want to start with this because SLU goes down 15 in the first half. Yeah. And it looks like, A10's going to A10, stuff like that. But they come back and win. And before we get to the actual game, this is, the best that I can remember SLU being in a decade plus.
Yeah, since Short Jet, really.
Describe your feelings about this team overall?
Well, on one hand, and maybe it was blind optimism, I sent in a group chat, which I refer to myself as the king of the sharps, and to bet SLU plus 6.5 and their money line at halftime, or when they were down 15 in that one. But On one hand, it's the same feeling of same old SLU. You think of that Duquesne game, like of the games. Like I've been to 3 games in my life where SLU needed to make 1 free throw as time expired to extend or win the game, and they missed all 6 free throws. Like the Hassan French era, Jordan Goodwin of not being clutch.
I mean, what was Hassan French's career free throw percentage?
I don't want to talk about it. He was a better football player. Vrabel.
I think it might have been in the 40s.
Yeah, it was bad. But like all of a sudden, it felt like when Green's
30s.
That's really bad.
But like it felt like when Green's drained threes and you got Robbie on the team, it was like this is a different SLU team. It's not Hassan French. It's not the Justin Tatum era of SLU anymore. Like this team is really, really good, and the clutch gene is there. It's not like that's what I think a lot of SLU fans, the pessimism is not gone from the mid-2010 teams where it's like, okay, they win a tournament game, but then they get blown out of the water by Oregon or NC State. Like this team's legit, which is so fun, and a lot of worries from tonight's performance because I was talking on my radio show earlier today about how this George Washington team with the athleticism that they have is a nightmare situation, especially when you put it with like a Power 5 team with an athleticism and shooting and probably better coaching. I think a George Washington type team can be a bad scenario for SLU in the tournament.
Yeah, I think SLU tonight, like they played the pace they wanted, but George Washington's athleticism certainly bothered them on defense, and SLU, they ended up hitting a bunch of shots down the stretch, which was just huge for them in that comeback effort. But this is this George Washington team is, and I didn't even think about this today, is like the type of team that SLU doesn't want to see. Like
no.
a team that can take them out of the.
They have like 8 or 9 guys that you could throw out there and you feel good about them.
Yeah.
And I was listening to 3-Bid League last week. They had one of the GW guys that was on, and it was David Korn. And he was talking about how like this is the first time like with GW you could feel like you have 9 guys you could throw out there and feel good about it.
And the thing is,
but here's the thing: SLU has that too.
Yeah,
SLU is really, really deep.
Yeah, especially with the guards. I think too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Dunlap didn't play tonight.
No.
But
and I saw that being a key point of emphasis. But I also want to add that like George Washington, like they get Marshall going to the basket. He gets a couple and ones, and I'm just like, it felt to me like I was watching a really good MVC team again play this super athletic team that like they just can't stop these stronger wings going downhill. But like credit to SLU for getting it together. Quentin Jones didn't have his best night, but he made some big plays in the second half.
Yeah, same with Green. Green didn't play a great first half, and I think 6'11" guy center. His name's Marshall, right?
The big guy is Rafael Castro.
Thank you. And a guy like Castro, I think a lot of people think when you look at Avila, like, oh, we can throw this 6'11", 7-foot guy with athleticism on him, and it will be a matchup nightmare. But really, I think the key to SLU is playing small ball. Like, I think big centers don't really work against this team because Robbie's always like they're basically going to go 5 out.
Yeah,
the center has to make the court.
I saw a great thread. One of the GW guys posted it today. And it was like kind of this consistent theme of Rafael Castro being late on rotation to get out to pick and pop threes. And just that's why SLU ran that play to get Avila that 3 in that last possession, because they knew Castro was going to be late on the rotation. They saw it in the George Mason game. They saw it previously. And Castro's really good. He's really athletic. But what he's able to do at the rim as a deterrent and as a rim protector kind of makes them want to keep him around the rim, give a lot of gap help. But when you set that screen and Avila's coming off of it and he's a 46% 3-point shooter this year, he's going to come off of that. And if he's got space, he's going to hit that shot. And Castro was just way too late on the recovery. I thought Castro played a solid game, not one of his best.
Yeah.
But like all over the glass. I feel like he could do a little more scoring wise. But like but I just didn't think he guarded Avila well whatsoever.
And this SLU team is weird because like there's 12 guys that could play every day. I might be a little hyperbolic there, but like 9 to 10 guys every single day can play and be like, oh, he had 15. Yeah, that makes sense. Like you think of Sharma had 31 points the other night against the Bonaventure and just kind of was quiet today. Didn't do too much. Trey Green was stepping up. Like I think last year's team was super talented for 4 guys. Like Swope could have 30 and Robbie could have 30 and they'd still lose. All of a sudden this year's team, I think it's the perfect Shirts team. Like I think it's
and Kellen being fully healthy is
Kellen's unbelievable. I think he has a lot of polishing still
defensive
to
player
do.
of the year.
I would be. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the A10 defense player of the year. Yeah,
I'm trying to think who else it would be.
With the positionless basketball,
it might be Castro for what he does at the rim, but like I think that today
I kind of think that's all he does, though.
Yeah, I think today kind of proved why it's not Castro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it can't be Miles Rubin.
No, it cannot be. But I want to add that, like, I think that, I'm glad you brought up Thames because he's been so good this year on both sides of the ball. And, like, credit to Shirts for putting the ball in his hands at the end of the game and, like, letting him run the offense to make that play because he made a really good read, whether it was by design or not on that play. And the way they set that up with Avila kind of dropping out of the ball screen but then coming back to the top and in almost like a ghost situation and Thames making a great pass to find him. It was a really unique way to run that action that I just had never seen before. Usually, when you're ghosting a screen, Avila will just come up to set it and then, he'll get out of there to the 3-point line. But getting him back into the paint to make the defense move more, I think set it up even better.
And like just looking at this team, like Shirts has talked about it a lot, getting to know him a little bit, just like how he's talked about the positionless basketball they're able to play because of how selfless this team is. I think there's a great article. I think it's a Field of 68 writer that might have just written, or it might have been Mid-Major Madness, talked about the dinner they had in Philly that Shirts kind of knew, this team, this is what I want. This team's bonded enough. And I think like they're built for March because Sharma had 31 on Friday, and then all of a sudden Green has 23 tonight, makes 6 threes. Like there's going to be a guard. Robbie will get his 20 in the big games, but there will be a guard that probably makes 5 to 8 threes in a game, and all of a sudden then the next matchup someone else is doing it. Like they're going to be really, really hard to scout for, especially on 1-2 days notice.
Yeah. Sam, anything to add
on all of that? I mean, not really. I think that, look, you've got Arch Baron Cup coming up on a Friday 10, 8 p.m. Actually, technically not Friday 10 because it's the CBS game, not the ESPN game.
I hate them so much. Like everyone loves 2020 Obi Toppin. I despise everything about that 2020 Dayton Flyers team.
Hey, this St. Louis team is your 2020 Obi Toppin.
What'd you say?
This St. Louis team is your 2020 Obi
team.
Yeah, except Shirts. We're gonna turn into Gonzaga of the Midwest. That's what everyone keeps telling themselves.
I do.
Stay at that NAIA for like 20 years. He'll stay here longer.
Grant, right? We talked about this sort of extensively with Michael DeRosa last Sunday. That Shirts has gotten to the point with this team and with what he's done before St. Louis that we think he can kind of choose to be picky with what job he takes, and like he doesn't necessarily have to jump at an opening this year. Now, like if there is a good opening, which there's always a chance we get a retirement or Ohio State, something like that opens. That's a quality job. But like if your best job openings are Providence and Georgetown or whatever. I'm not reading the chat right now. I know you guys are laughing at that.
I need to address something with Sam
after this. But we do, but my point being, I think there is a scenario where Josh Shirts is at St. Louis again next year.
And the question is he a Robbie Avila merchant? We haven't seen him prove it without him, so maybe he needs to come back next year.
We haven't? How many games did he win in Division II?
Not at this level. This is different than Division II. Also, Sam, where are you doing this from? Where are you right now? You're just in a hallway.
I will explain after the pod.
Around. Are they like? Do we have listeners? Is it a live audience behind the camera?
Is this the first walk-in behind the camera guest since Ben Piquet, circa March of 2025?
Did Noah not walk behind the camera a couple times?
No, he absolutely did.
Multiple
That's why I'm
people have.
saying that.
And it's distracting.
No,
you.
not today. This is not him.
Okay.
I'm saying
No,
in the
not
past
on
couple
the air.
Really? Okay, so then I guess yes, it is because I am downstairs in this hallway, right outside of the elevator bank.
Where?
Because they locked the classrooms.
Dude, what if you want to get some late night study?
Syracuse journalism. Gosh.
I am in New York City.
Oh, well, that's what they taught you at Syracuse journalism.
That's what they do at the Found Study here in New York City.
See, I'm a proud Mizzou J School alum, and Jonathan's a
Mizzou J School sort of taker,
there you go.
class taker.
Don't use alum. You can't use alum.
I never was going to.
Sorry. I can't believe SLU's this good. Like, I think every day I wake up and I'm like, man, it's awesome that they're this good. And like everyone loves them. That's what's awesome too. They are mid-major. They're the fun mid-major.
They are absolutely the fun mid-major. They are also, we keep saying.
Well, okay, there's one other fun mid-major that I want to talk about this year.
Who? Grand Canyon?
You better not be talking about Miami, Ohio.
I was talking about Miami, Ohio. No. Miami, Ohio as a team
not
is
fun.
not
That
like
is a gift from the gods. Is what that is.
They're not that good. But holy shit, do they have a mandate from heaven?
Yeah.
And every single game that they play is like the greatest game ever.
They
have played 3 straight ESPN Instant Classics. Like when you finish a game on NCAA football and it says ESPN Instant Classic, they've done that 3 games in a row.
I'm going to take a line that Grant Salzman once used about Aiden O'Connor getting up for work. It is going to take an act of God to beat this team before the MAC tournament.
I'll say it might be the 8-9 seed game. Let's say they're a 9 seed somehow. It might be the biggest spread for an 8-9 seed game ever.
Oh yeah.
Like imagine if SLU is the 8th seed and they play Miami, Ohio. SLU, I'd be
SLU minus 8, 9.
I would play them minus 30. Scott Hughes, he's a good journalist. Thank you, Logan.
Terrific journalist.
Done some really good research over the years.
Dude. All right. Should we talk briefly about Mizzou?
All right.
I think we should talk briefly about Mizzou because they stink.
You want me to give a rundown here quickly? I'll just give you the brief description. They have a center who's soft. He's 7'1". He's the biggest guy on the court, and he's soft. Their best player.
Gee, I wonder who thought that.
Oh, that's true. Their best player can only score inside a 4 feet radius to the hoop. Their NBA prospect forgot how to dribble. He airballs free throws now. Their second best player is a 25-year-old Aussie who is really good, actually. I have nothing bad to say about Mr. Stone. Trent Pierce is inconsistent.
I had no idea he was from Australia.
Teal Barrett, awesome hair, can't shoot. I think Jonathan Lidskin would beat him in a 3-point. You know what? I think Sam Fetterman would beat him in a 3-point contest.
Ooh,
Sam is not as bad of a shooter as you probably think.
Well,
no, I'm a bad shooter.
I've seen Sam shoot a basketball, and he will tell you he is awful at the game of basketball. And in a game setting, that may be true, but in terms of like shooting and fundamentals, he is not that bad.
Jonathan Lidskin once.
But fundamentals, sure. Shooting, I'm awful.
Jonathan Lidskin once threw a basketball at me in a pickup game.
That's true. I
picked his pocket, Sam, and then as I'm dribbling down the court, I'm going, "Oh baby, it's crazy, the big man!" Oh! and then to top it off, I Euro stepped the fast break layup, and Jonathan Lidskin wasn't happy with me. Harrison Batnick was also antagonizing it the entire time. He was making me guard Liddy, and Harrison.
Wait. I thought this was something that everybody did. I thought everybody took charges in regular.
I once took a charge and like slipped in the living room.
Jonathan, in middle school, in middle school, I used to step in front of the person that was walking next to me and establish legal guarding position and take a charge.
You're
let me
a
see if
step,
I can show you that.
in the hallway at school, and then I'd get up and do that.
Euro-stepping people at Disney World was like a Lidskin family tradition for a long time.
So, Sam, a good charge call. So you see refs nowadays, they go charge, they just go give you a this, right? But a good charge call, and I know this, I read 4th grade basketball for a while. A good charge call, you're going like this, and you give the pump fake, we're going the other way. So you got to really rev it up. So Jonathan was revving up the charge. Well, his carpet, the rug, a little bit of a bump, and he just slipped right over that, fell on his face. It was a really good.
This is the kind of content that we need.
Mm-hmm. Really good effort from the charge. Not great execution.
All right.
Is there anything else on Mizzou? They can't score the half court.
They play Mississippi State on Saturday. I think that game is an affront to society.
Yeah, I'll be there actually. My eyes might bleed. One more thing. Their sharpshooter doesn't shoot the ball and he can't make shots. So that's an issue too. Yeah.
Need refs start doing the first down.
I mean, we just have a ridiculous chat going right now.
And
thank you to all of our viewers.
Dennis Gates, bad head coach, great recruiter. Man, can he recruit a young man? He can give them great optimism on what Columbia, Missouri is. And once he gets you on that court, you get worse. I think you are a worse basketball player after you step foot in Columbia, Missouri.
Grant, do we have like a designated like defensive coordinator?
I believe that was Mr. C.Y. Young.
Yeah,
and
that was C.Y.
I don't really know if he got replaced.
All right, so there are a couple of people that we need to kind of call out right now. Mm-hmm. Kentucky. I saw that. You're not getting away with this. We are going to mention it. Vanderbilt 80, Kentucky 55 tonight.
You cannot hide from me. I have ESPN.
No. We'll get to that in a moment. No Duke Miles, obviously no Frankie Collins. Tyler Tanner stepped up big. Jonathan, what was that thing you said about Tyler Tanner?
He is what I thought Elliot Cadeau was going to be
coming out of high school
when he entered college. What'd you say?
And shout out to Miles Keefe, who played in this game.
He did. Brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. One-time mention, Miles Keefe.
Two-time mention now. Steve Forbes.
Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, we're done. Steve Forbes. If Steve Forbes is the coach of Wake Forest next year, they are going on boycott.
Christian will be finding a new team.
Who cares about Wake Forest or Pitt basketball? At the end of the day, I'm sorry.
Pitt at least was once a proud program.
When was the last time that Wake Forest been proud since Chris Paul? Was Wake Forest even proud with Chris Paul?
When they had Tim Duncan, they were good.
Sam, the same person has walked behind you 7 times.
Yeah, where is this guy going?
What is going on? Ask him the JJ question. Mark Pope or Pope Leo? Who would you rather have coach basketball?
Okay, I don't know. I
Ask
can't
him
do
the next
that.
time he comes by.
I'm sorry, I can't do that.
Does this guy want to be on the pod?
Greg McDermott. You can't hide from me either. What was that? Marquette 86, Creighton 62. In the big 2-2-6? Really?
Shaka Smart has his boys going finally.
Yeah, Creighton's just not going to make the NCAA tournament. We knew that, but oh my God, that's a bad loss. They are now, Jonathan, 62nd.
I'm kind of in on Shaka turning this around. Why can't
every other Shaka team gets worse after January? Why can't this be the one that gets better?
Why can't they rattle off a bunch of wins? This conference is awful. Every game except for a couple feels winnable.
I think they'll probably beat Butler at home. They'll beat Georgetown away. They'll beat DePaul at home. They'll beat Providence. They'll finish with 7 wins in the conference.
We need Shaka playing on Big East semifinal Friday.
If Shaka Smart leads Marquette, and I'll be at Big East tournament start to finish this year. If Shaka Smart leads Marquette to Big East semifinal Friday. That would be a catastrophe for the conference.
Sam, I have a scenario.
This
for you.
conference needs UConn, Seton Hall, St. John's, Villanova.
This
Friday
UConn
night.
Providence matchup reminds me a lot of Steelers Ravens. For 40 minutes, you throw everything you know about basketball out the window. Why does Providence always play UConn close, but they always lose?
No, I would also just like to say UConn just kind of stinks right now.
Oh, they're number 5 in the country, 4 in the country. Oh, they stink. Or 2.
They're 2 in the AP.
They just
poll,
are.
but
They are not playing to
like
expectation.
they're playing like the offense is just like not settled right now. They're
They're
not
coasting.
making a ton of shots.
They're coasting.
they're
Dan really
coasting.
hasn't cussed out a ref in a while. That's what needs.
No, he actually did. He very much did.
but not enough.
Did I?
No,
Get thrown out.
on Saturday. And I actually think he did cuss out a ref tonight. I'm pretty
Sam, I have
sure
a
I
scenario
saw.
for you.
I'm pretty sure I saw him say like something to Roger Ayers tonight.
Sam, I have a scenario for you,
Go
and I
ahead.
want to hear your thoughts. Marquette wins 4 straight games of the Big East tournament and makes the NCAA tournament. Nigel James plays 165 minutes in the Big East tournament. Keep in mind that they would need to go to overtime, and he would need to play every single minute.
As I've said, Nigel James was born to play 50 minutes a game. The rules of basketball dictate that he can
He's
only play
allowed to
40.
play 40.
This comment's actually wrong because I heard that's happening at the MAC tournament, actually.
Dude, Patelis wouldn't be caught dead at the MAC tournament.
Will the MAC tournament present you a game ball? The MAC, sorry.
They did last year.
Exactly.
Patelis is like
I'm
really.
not. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm hitting 100 at the MAC tournament this year. Let me make sure.
Does it make you mad that the way I say the MAC?
Yes, it makes
What?
that's one of my.
It's a good way for a non.
Differentiate. People think I'm talking
Oh,
about the Mid-American
actually,
Conference.
Game 100
that.
will be the second men's semifinal of the MAC tournament this year.
The
Assuming
Mid-Americans should be like banned since they let this Miami Ohio team get to 21-0.
Assuming I
Do you call
don't
it
miss another
Maction,
game.
Sam? Do you call it Maction?
Yes.
So, but it's Maction. See,
Assuming I
Now
don't
everyone
miss
knows
a
what
game.
you're talking about.
Grant, if you want good interactions on Twitter and good a bunch of likes, just
Start
tweet
tweeting at Merrimack.
tweet shit about Sam and the Mac. It's cool.
Yeah. Sam Fetterman
It's so
covers MAC basketball today. Watch and learn.
Patelis used to tweet that. Now he hates me. He won't even acknowledge me by putting me on the hate list.
He's
He
gone
hates me so much I'm not even on the hate list.
I just want to clear things up that you distanced yourself from him, and that is the entire reason that he does not
Yes,
not acknowledge you anymore.
it absolutely is. It absolutely. Jonathan, we've gone an hour into this pod and we haven't talked about BYU Arizona yet.
I didn't realize we were going to talk about BYU Arizona. We
Well, we
postponed
didn't talk.
we canceled the emergency pod last night, despite
Well, yeah.
Tony Padilla's best efforts.
We have two more games we need to discuss. Pat Kelsey, you can't hide from me. I watch basketball on Mondays.
On Super Mondays.
Dude,
Big Monday.
Big Monday,
Not giving
Super
it
Tuesday.
not giving it to AJ for the last shot of the game is like not giving it to Harrison.
Hey! We're on Louisville right now, Jonathan.
Sorry, I just.
Go.
What are we doing? You have the number 1 overall pick on your team.
Jonathan, go.
In the last 4 games that John Shire has coached, and the only 4 games that John Shire has coached against Pat Kelsey, Duke is plus 72 in the second half against Louisville.
What was your line?
That at this year's ACC tournament, at the start of the quarterfinals, before the first quarterfinal, Pat Kelsey should have to meet John Shire at center court and give him last year's ACC Coach of the Year award.
Correct. All right, now let's talk about the BYU Arizona game.
Oh.
Before we even get to the AJ DeBonsta situation, Arizona, their first half in this game, their first 35 minutes of this game were perfect. Just perfect. Exactly what you want this team to be. Creating so much space in their middle ball screens, with their ability to kind of get to the elbow and either take a step back, take a floater, do whatever. Braden Burries was incredible. I thought their bigs just they handled BYU's bigs. I thought they made life really difficult for DeBonsta. Sure, he got to the line a lot, but he really had to work for everything. The fouls weren't coming super easy like they usually do. Obviously, Rob Wright got completely shoved in a box by Jaden Bradley and Braden Berries. That was kind of one of the keys to this game as a whole. And I thought Arizona controlled the pace of 95% of this game. And then Tony Padilla just said, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he said, let's make this exciting.
Tony Padilla. It's Tony Padilla time. Tony Padilla.
Arizona, I thought, had a really good offensive game plan from the get-go. Like we talk a lot about, teams not taking mid-range shots anymore, but for Jaden Bradley and Braden Berries, like mid-ranges are good shots for those guys. Like they are good shots if you are good.
I'm gonna say what I tweeted yesterday. It was Arizona built up the best resume in the sport in the first weeks of the season in spite of Braden Berries. Arizona has become the best team in the country because of Braden Berries.
Right. That was always the path that we discussed them getting better. Like,
and I doubted it.
There was the whole peaking too early kind of stuff that we discussed, but Braden Berries has really come on strong in the last month. And I was having this discussion with, the Lidskin family the other day. He has...
Wow, the whole family?
Yeah.
Got on it?
No, Rebecca didn't and Wrigley didn't get involved in the conversation, but everyone else did. Braden Berries has become maybe Arizona's second best player behind Jaden Bradley. And
is he not their best player right now?
Like he might be.
I mean, he's. I think he's been their best player over the last couple of weeks.
Everyone on this team is important in their own way, though. Like they need.
I think this team has 6 best players.
They need Del Orso shooting. They need Aristode's energy off the bench.
Do they need Del Orso shooting?
I think eventually they're going to.
I think they need his spacing. I don't necessarily think they need him to shoot.
But
he plays 12 minutes in this game. He doesn't score. He doesn't make a 3, and it doesn't matter. They
to be fair, is there a good matchup for him? Is there a good matchup for him in this game?
No, that's the thing. I don't necessarily think they need him. Again, I don't necessarily think they need him in a given game.
I think they will need his shooting at some point. I don't know when.
I agree. To win 6 in a row, they will need an Anthony Del Orso game.
But I think, what they did yesterday with, Bradley just coming off screens and picking apart BYU's drop coverage. He just kept hitting floaters and mid-range shots. He got a couple assists in there. For the most part, he took care of the ball until late. Barry's got to the line a ton. It was just a really good performance from those two to lead them to a big road win. Now, we could talk about the BYU side of this all we want, Sam. There is a BYU. And this is not the game that sparked this discussion from us by any means.
I just think they're pretty clearly not a national championship contender.
Agreed.
And we weren't sure about that heading into the Texas Tech game. We weren't sure.
But Sam, they have a top 25 offense and defense, which means they're a national championship contender.
Sharp.
Yeah, it does. I think. Hold on. Let me just check something quickly.
I need
Jonathan,
more Richie.
you know what I'm checking?
I need more Richie.
Jonathan, they're in the trapezoid of excellence.
Hey, it came out today. Somebody's got to tell Will Warren. But going back to what Grant said.
Will Warren, when he sees the trapezoid of excellence, is like Grant Salzman when he sees Missouri basketball.
I think SLU basketball would be the better term.
No, I meant Missouri.
Oh, bad. Yes.
When I left bragging rights, we were staying in, a little further west in the suburbs. And
he's a suburban man.
We left bragging rights, me and my friend Ben PK, who you met, Grant. And there was a sign.
And I met.
You have met PK. That's right.
Yes.
So anyway, there was a billboard on the highway that showed, it was a SLU basketball advertisement. And Shirts was on the billboard, and Robbie, and a bunch of the guys on the team. And I was very close to, taking a picture of it and saying, the best team in Missouri.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
One more thing, because Grant mentioned the, Debanza last possession stuff. If nothing else, get the ball to your best player. Like,
who's by far your best player?
there was
Okay,
no
one more thing.
There was no
One more
screen
thing.
set for Rob Wright. They just told him to go get in the lane and attack a good defender against a very strong help side defense because of Arizona's side.
Also, why is
Okay,
that
one
play
more
thrown
thing.
in the backcourt not to AJ? Get your best guy going downhill, and if 2 or 3 guys come and stop him, then kick it to Wright. Or
If they're going to let you catch, which like Arizona very clearly had to do because it was a
Yes.
1-point game and they couldn't risk a foul, just get the ball to AJ.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do one more thing, and it's kind of my annual run through of some mid-major notes. Shouts to Stephen F. Austin surviving at home against Northwestern State. Our guy Matt Breyer, 11-1 in Southland play.
Like
There,
the ice
we
cream.
will lead the show next Tuesday night with McNeese Stephen F. Austin from the night before.
Will we?
Potentially.
Okay.
Shouts to Steve Donahue and the Hawks. Jonathan, you gotta
no,
flap.
we're not doing this. No.
St.
Oh,
Joe's.
You don't get to flap for beating this Loyola team.
They beat
I don't
Loyola
care,
Chicago
Jonathan. They've won
without
5.
Steve.
They've won 5 of 6.
They could
They're
have
5
won.
and
They could
they're
have
5
won.
and 3 in the A10.
They could have won 99 out of 100. I'm not flapping for them beating this Loyola team.
Okay, fine. Shouts
Can I say
to
something about Loyola? real
wait,
quick?
Jonathan. Can you give me a very fast Valley update on Illinois Chicago?
Dude, did you see the game tonight?
Yeah,
What
I
happened?
did. That's what I want you to talk
Grant,
about.
did you see this?
Who?
The UIC Indiana State ending tonight?
No, what happened?
Oh my God, dude. So UIC is up like 20 in the first half, and like they're playing well and all that, and they're going for their 7th win, and it looks like they're going to cruise. Indiana State cuts it to like 12 by the half. It's down to Indiana State takes the lead, I think, late in the game.
They did.
It's a tie game. There's 9 seconds to go. Indiana State throws the ball away on the inbound, and UIC scores to win the game with like 4 seconds to go.
Can I ask something about Loyola real quick, or can I say something?
Yeah, go
You
ahead.
know- You know the Giants photo, the New York Football Giants, and
Yeah.
on the boat, and
Yeah.
how ever since the boat
Yes.
picture, it's all gone downhill. Ever since those 2 guys didn't fist bump Sister Jean and she died, this program is just taking. Get out of the A10. Where were they before the Valley?
Did they have
They belong in
a
the Ohio Valley. They
Horizon
belong
League.
in
Horizon
that.
League. Horizon League.
what was
Oh, we
Sister
don't
Jean-
want him. We don't want him.
Sorry,
what
they
was
belong in
Sister
that.
Jean's official title? Was she the team like chaplain?
Team chaplain.
Yes,
Team chaplain.
Did
That
they
had
have a
done-
replacement ready to go? Because I feel like that may have been an issue.
Their new chaplain, like negative war. Negative
Get
war.
Poke Leo in.
Like,
He knows how to run a program.
Like, did they bring in
Dude,
like
he's
the
from Chicago. He's
Did they
from
bring him-
Chicago. He probably knew Sister Jean.
Yes.
Probably did.
Sister Jean.
He also was a substitute teacher at Aiden O'Connor's high school.
Aiden O'Connor's been mentioned more than Justin Tatum and Malik Wright. That's concerning.
Like, did Loyola Chicago just bring in like?
Okay.
Hold on, Sam. I really need to say this. I think like Loyola Chicago brought in like the Jeff Saturday of team chaplains.
All right.
Not
I'm
even a
texting that to
Catholic.
Weeps right
It's a
now.
Protestant. Sorry, Sam.
All right, we need to end the show.
No. Give me 1 second.
Why? Do you have more Southland things
one
to
more
talk
question
about?
for Sam. You posted the slew buzzer beater. One, like nobody else saw it. But 2, you posted from your laptop. What's your ball setup? Do you just watch off one laptop?
No. I was watching the. I had a 4 game going on the TV.
Oh, okay. All right. So do you have a
Slew got the
phone
ISO cam.
too?
I have an Apple TV.
So you got 4 games on the TV. Do you split screen the laptop to get 6 and then maybe a phone for 7, or how's this work?
No. You usually, if I'm just on my laptop, I'll do split screen.
Okay.
But if I'm like, honestly, a lot of times I'll just do like 2 games at once.
Uh-huh.
But like I try and do 4, 6. 6 is usually the max.
It's crazy, baby. Look at this setup.
Well,
It's awesome.
six is the max when I'm not in my room at my house, because then I could go Apple TV on both of the TVs and get to 8, and
Wait,
then
if
on
you're not
the
in
other
your room,
screen I
where are
can
you
get to
getting
12.
2 Apple TVs from?
I'm not. I only have one that I have one that I take like to school and that I have with me.
So you're not just in the hallway with an Apple TV set up right now.
No. Okay. Couple
That's why
couple other
the
games.
looking. He wants to watch.
Couple other games. The best team in the Mid-American Conference, Akron,
Yes.
scored 91 against Toledo tonight. Tamari Johnson at 25 and 7. Good for him. Anthony Grant, you cannot hide from me. That was pathetic.
It could get ugly on Friday if SLU blows
a loss at home to Rhode Island without Jonah Hinton on the court. Oh, God.
Dayton.
Like, Dayton's now lost 3 in a row to teams outside the top 100. That's scary hours.
Let's win by 40. Blizzard game too.
I'm not even gonna mention Jerome Tang. I'm not even mentioning him. He has gone below the standard of being mentioned on this podcast.
But remember when he's clapping thing? Marquise Noel. He wants to be on the March Madness hero video.
Maybe the most fake run a top 3 seed has ever made in the NCAA tournament.
Dude, I picked them to lose in the first round, and I don't regret it one bit.
Dude, when they beat
another team that has no business being mentioned on the podcast anymore.
But you're
Syracuse, just another dog shit performance. We saw Calvin Russell play basketball today. That's not a good thing.
But it may be better than Nate George playing more basketball.
I
don't know if the people in the Syracuse Discord are convinced Nate George is throwing the games.
Can we fire him and get Boeheim in as the interim? He'd win at least 2 ACC tournament games. Get Buddy back.
Boeheim never won 2 ACC tournament games.
That would be great. It would be like it would.
You can do it.
That would be great. It would be like when Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma and Bob Stoops coached the bowl game.
Yes.
All right, and then one more thing.
One game.
Just an absolutely wild one between Virginia and Notre Dame. Testa Ritter at 32. I think that's all I have from today. Shouts to Kent State. Shouts to Michigan State pulling that one out.
UCF survived
They survived early.
They survived being talked about on this pod.
Yeah, and then shouts to our guys up at Lemoyne, Nate Champion's squad, 87-74 win over FDU on Monday. I am going to be, without Shiloh Jackson, by the way, I'm going to be at Lemoyne LIU on Thursday night. There is a darn good chance that leads off mid-major Thursday. Because that is a battle for first place in the NEC.
Do we have a guest for mid-major Thursday this week?
This is all fair discussion.
Next week. Yeah. All right, Jonathan.
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came.
My God, we got Christian and Hammer in the chat.
I feel bad. Hammer had to watch this. I had to watch my segment.
Jonathan, take us home.
You came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working. You came to the right place. If you came to see Grant Salzman wearing pink goggles, you came to the right place. And if you came to hear about the latest happenings with Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. This has been Season 6, Episode 76 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Stealers, and we'll see you next time.